Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Chaos has erupted at a popular toy run event in Hobart after a motorbike crashed into a group of spectators, leaving 2 people in hospital. Traffic remained at a standstill for more than an hour while police tried to piece together what happened.
A day out dedicated to spreading generosity quickly turned south after a motorbike riding in the 43rd toy run suddenly left the pack.
Initial indications at the scene are the motorcyclist left the lane of traffic and collided with spectators on the side of the road.
First responders lining the southbound lane of the Brooker Highway at Newtown.
2 people have been conveyed from the scene to the hospital. They're both spectators, 1 person with what we believe to be serious injuries. The motorcyclist has not sustained significant injury.
Investigators analysing the scene and speaking with witnesses to determine what went wrong. Concerningly, it was a familiar sight for participants, with the event plagued by fatal crashes in past years.
At this stage, we're asking for any witnesses to contact police on 131 444.
But the incident hasn't undone the good heart of organisers who worked hours in the lead-up to make the event possible.
We love seeing presents that really engage the whole family. You see cricket sets that you can imagine a family playing with on the beach on Boxing Day, and those kind of things which you just know will bring joy across the state.
The donations needed now more than ever.
Last year, the Salvos assisted 6,000 people across Tasmania that were experiencing hardship. We're expecting it's going to be greater than that 6,000 people last year. We know there's a lot of people out there that actually are too nervous to reach out for help as well.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
A man has died in hospital after he was struck by a car in Huonville on Monday afternoon. Police say he was hit by a dual cab ute on Main Street but succumbed to his injuries overnight. The crash investigation is ongoing. Tasmania Police say they understand concerns from community members after shots were fired at 2 separate vehicles in the Richmond and Risdon Vale areas early this morning. Shortly after 2:45, a car travelling on Richmond Road was targeted, resulting in a shattered rear window before a second car was shot at on Grasstree Hill Road, narrowly escaping damage.
They were quite concerned about what occurred last night, and that's why we're taking all the steps we can to try and work out what's occurred.
Both of the victims are known to each other, with the offending vehicle described as possibly a white, newer model Subaru Impreza or Mazda hatchback. Tasmanian doctors are sounding the alarm over the end of government funding for GP-led respiratory clinics. A northern facility which sees thousands of patients a month fears that those in need will have nowhere to turn if the centre closes.
Set up in the pandemic's early days, respiratory clinics offer Tasmanians fast, free treatment for their COVID symptoms. But it might not be for much longer.
Unfortunately, no indication from the federal government that the funding will be extended beyond December 31st.
Launceston's clinic alone has seen 55,000 patients since it opened in 2020, but it's facing an uncertain future.
We're open every day of the year, so we wonder where those people are going to go if we start charging or can't stay open.
Launceston Medical Centre wants a funding extension for the service, saying it helps take the pressure off an already stretched health system.
If their symptoms aren't picked up, diagnosed and treated in the early stages, then certainly things can worsen, and for those patients particularly there would be consequences for the hospital.
A spokesperson for the Federal Health Department says the government is continuing to monitor the COVID situation and will make further decisions on its response in the coming weeks.
We feel that we've had a very valuable part in the health system the last 2 years, and that the pandemic, and it's not quite over yet.
That respiratory clinic performs an extremely important function, particularly when you've got such a high level of COVID in the community.
Tasmania recorded close to 4,000 new COVID cases in the past week. The state's death toll stands at 206. 21 people are being treated for COVID in hospital, with 3 patients admitted to ICU. It comes as Public Health announced yesterday it will close its PCR testing sites at the end of next month. People trying to access the test will need to book an appointment with their GP.
And facilities that are required from time to time will continue to scale up and scale down as required, and will take the advice of Public Health on these matters.
A key pandemic program hoping it won't be taking its last breath. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
The Deputy Premier has welcomed a ceasefire between the government and public sector unions over long-running pay negotiations. The new deal includes pay rises of 3.5% in the first year and 3% in the next 2 years, as well as cost of living bonuses.
We're really pleased that we are showing signs of progress there, and indeed the unions are now embracing those offers, and we look forward to members having their own say on these matters.
Union members will now vote on whether to accept the new deals. Tasmania has appointed its first interim disability commissioner after consistent lobbying for a dedicated role. The appointment comes on a day of global recognition for people living with disability, as the importance of inclusion was celebrated right across the state.
The nation's game embracing everyone's potential to shine in sport.
Just brings a different perspective to footy, and a lot of people can get caught up during the year in all the little issues during footy, but this sheds a light on what footy's really about, so it's awesome.
Competitive stakes were high for these determined athletes in Launceston.
Going hard and kick some goals, I reckon.
Showcasing their skills on the basketball floor too for an important day on the calendar, recognising the achievements of people living with disability.
There are so many opportunities in disability sport, and we just love to see people getting involved.
With a goal to continue amplifying their voices, the state government's reached a decision on a new interim disability commissioner. Advocate Mary Mallett taking on the top job for now.
Part of her work will also be that we are going to be having a whole new Disability Act. The current Act is from 2011, and a lot has changed in the disability space since then.
A framework is being developed for the permanent position as a call-out is issued for new members to join the Minister's consultative group.
Really like to reach out to a wide breadth of people with lived experience of disability to consider stepping up.
The work behind the scenes aimed to improve outcomes for over a quarter of Tasmanians who live with a disability. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian soccer fans will have an early wake-up call tomorrow morning, swarming into Rest Point at 6 to see the Socceroos go head-to-head with Argentina on the big screen. The viewing is free of charge, with organisers hoping for around 650 spectators.
The atmosphere tomorrow is going to be electric. If we get a big crowd in here, and we're encouraging everybody to dress up in their Australian gear.
First time in 16 years that the Socceroos have gone past the group stage, so the last time was 2006 when we took on Italy, and so it's super exciting, and look, I think we've got a very good chance.
Meanwhile, Tasmanian player Nathaniel Atkinson's home ground will also be opening its doors for a screening of the game. The Riverside Olympic Football Club handing out hot food to fuel the fans' adrenaline. Christmas cheer was in full force at an iconic heritage building in Battery Point today. 18 distillers from across the state gathered at Narinya for the 7th annual Spirit Market, all eager to showcase their products to those who appreciate a good tipple.
Yeah, they say all ships float on a rising tide, and that's very much the feeling around here. We've had great times this morning catching up with the other distillers, and yeah, it's such a supportive community and we all get around each other.
The event aims to share the importance of buying and supporting local this festive season. Meanwhile, thousands took to the streets in Launceston to celebrate the city's first Christmas parade since the pandemic began. Children and adults were delighted by the spectacle and one very special guest.
Highlight was definitely seeing Santa Claus waving to my kids and Spider-Man giving my son, massive Spider-Man fan, a fist pump.
The big man in red wasn't alone though, with community groups, pipers and an army of elves taking over the Launceston CBD. Accessibility at a popular Launceston sporting venue is set to improve under a $900,000 investment by the state government. The long-awaited upgrades at Elfin Sports Centre will see car parking transformed and walkways become wheelchair-friendly, with more than 5,000 people using the facility every week.
We want to now take it to the next level. In those nearly 60 years since it was built, one of the things that wasn't considered in those early days was proper provision for people with disability, particularly physical disability.
Modern toilet and shower facilities to meet the needs of all Tasmanians will also form part of the works, which will take place over the next 2 years. And Tasmania has lost its Sheffield Shield match against South Australia at Blunston Arena. The Redbacks winning by 208 runs, despite the Tigers' Matthew Wade scoring 41 runs and Jared Freeman scoring 44. Jackson Bird claiming 4 wickets overall during South Australia's turn at bat.
Good evening. A mostly sunny day today across much of the state. Hobart 26, Launceston 23, Burnie 18 and Devonport 19. Ouse and Maydena hit 29 degrees today, the state's high. Grove 27, 26 at St Helens, Luncheon Hill 25, 24 at the Friendly Beaches and King Island, Flinders Island 23, 23 also for Maria Island, Liaweenie and Strawn. Lowhead not reaching the 20s with 19 degrees. On the satellite, we can see those clear skies across the state, resulting in mostly sunny conditions today. A mid to high level cloud band is shown extending from the southern coast of WA down south of Tasmania and on over the Tasman Sea. Afternoon convective cloud is lying over most of southern WA and interior parts of Queensland and New South Wales. Tomorrow's chart shows a slow moving high over the Tasman Sea to the east of Tasmania, extending a ridge over New South Wales and southern Queensland, a trough from a pair of lows over northwestern parts of Australia to a developing low near Adelaide. To coastal waters now, north to northwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots, tending easterly at similar speeds about the south and lower east during the morning, and northwesterly about the west in the evening, seas to 2 metres. A shower or two in Hobart tomorrow, 21 degrees, 23 at Richmond, a possible shower there, and Ouse, a possible shower, 27. 29 in Launceston tomorrow, partly cloudy, Devonport also partly cloudy, 23, and a possible late shower for Deloraine, 26. A partly cloudy day ahead in Burnie tomorrow, 20, 23 at Strawn and Curry, 24, both partly cloudy. Partly cloudy at St Helens, 22 and Swansea, 21. Whitemark, a mostly sunny day, 24. The UV is very high, 10s tomorrow and sunrise is at 5:30 a.m. On Monday, showers and a possible storm. Tuesday, showers about southern, central and eastern districts, fine elsewhere. And Wednesday, showers about the west, extending statewide in the evening, but not much expected in the north. A partly cloudy day in Adelaide tomorrow, 34, 33 in Melbourne, mostly sunny, and a partly cloudy day ahead for Sydney, 25. Currently in Hobart, it's 22, mostly sunny, Launceston 21, sunny, and Devonport sunny and 17. And Lou, that's your Saturday night weather forecast.
Still warm, what a treat. Thank you for that. That's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely and safe evening. Good night.